There is a strange, long-legged animal hiding in your yard that most people try to chase away the moment they see it. It stands under leaves with legs so thin they almost look unreal. It moves across damp stones after sunset. It gathers beneath old wood, along porch steps, near flower beds, and in the quiet corners of the garden where most people never look twice. Some people call it ugly. Some people call it creepy. Some people call it a spider and reach for a shoe before they even understand what they are looking at. But what if everything you believed about this little creature was wrong? What if the long-legged visitor you have been brushing away from your porch was not dangerous at all? What if it was not invading your yard, not threatening your family, not waiting to bite you, but quietly helping your garden in a way most homeowners never notice? Today, we need to talk about Daddy Longlegs, and by the end of this, I promise you, you may never look at this strange little animal the same way again. Before we talk about Daddy Longlegs, we need to talk about the real problem hiding in your garden. It is not always the creature you can see. It is often the tiny life you do not notice until the damage is already done. Aphids gathering on tender stems, beetle larvae hiding near the soil, tiny insects feeding beneath leaves, small pests moving through mulch before your plants begin to weaken. Most homeowners do not notice the first quiet signs. They notice the yellowing leaves later. They notice the holes in the basil. They notice the weak tomato plant. They notice a flower bud that never opens. They notice a seedling that was there yesterday and gone this morning. And when people finally see something is wrong, they often reach for the fastest answer: a spray bottle, a trap, a chemical, a clean sweep of every small creature that moves. But long before you step outside with a bottle in your hand, nature has already sent workers into your yard. Quiet workers, small workers, creatures that do not ask for attention, do not make noise, and do not look beautiful enough for most people to spare them. Daddy Longlegs are among those quiet workers. They do not arrive like a dramatic predator. They do not build giant webs across your doorway. They do not buzz around your face. They do not chew holes through your walls. They simply move through the damp, hidden places where the small problems of a garden begin. Under mulch, beneath rocks, along old fence lines, around compost, at the base of shrubs, in the shadowed spaces beneath fallen leaves. To us, they may look fragile, awkward, and strange, but in the small world beneath the plants, they are part of the cleanup crew. They feed on tiny insects. They scavenge soft remains. They help recycle the little broken pieces of life that collect in a healthy yard. They are not monsters. They are not a sign that your garden is dirty. In many ways, they are a sign that your garden is alive. And that is where the misunderstanding begins. The creatures that do the quietest work often have the strangest faces. A butterfly is forgiven because it is beautiful. A ladybug is welcomed because it is charming. A robin is loved because it sings in the morning. But Daddy Longlegs do not sing. They do not shine. They do not flutter over flowers in a way that makes people smile. They stand in the corner with a tiny body and legs so long that the human eye does not know what to do with them. So people fear them, and fear becomes a story. For years, one of the most common stories about Daddy Longlegs has been that they are secretly one of the most venomous animals in the world. But their mouths are too small to bite humans. Maybe you heard that as a child. Maybe someone told you on a playground. Maybe a neighbor said it while pointing at one in the garage. It sounds scary enough to remember, and strange enough to repeat, but the truth is much less frightening and much more interesting. The Daddy Longlegs most people find in their yards are often harvestmen. They are related to spiders, but they are not true spiders. They do not have the same body shape as true spiders. They do not spin webs the way house spiders do. And most importantly, they do not have venom glands like the old rumor claims. The deadly venom story is not a hidden secret. It is not something scientists forgot to tell you. It is an old myth that has traveled from mouth to mouth because fear travels faster than truth. And that myth has cost this small animal its reputation. Because when people believe something is dangerous, they stop looking closely. They do not ask what it is doing there. They do not ask whether it belongs. They grab a shoe. They grab a broom. They crush it, sweep it away, or spray the corner where it was standing. But Daddy Longlegs are not standing in your yard because they want to hurt you. They are not waiting to attack your children. They are not plotting in your garage. They are simply trying to survive in the same small patch of earth you call home. They are looking for moisture. They are looking for shelter. They are looking for food. They are looking for a dark, safe place where birds and larger predators will not find them. And while they search, they become part of something much larger than themselves. They become part of the balance of the garden. That balance is easy to miss because it happens quietly. It does not happen in one dramatic moment. It happens one tiny meal at a time. One insect, one egg, one soft bit of decay, one hidden corner cleaned by a creature most people never thank. A healthy garden is not only made of flowers and vegetables. It is made of relationships, soil feeding roots, leaves feeding insects, insects feeding birds, small predators feeding on smaller pests, dead matter becoming life again. And somewhere in that quiet circle, Daddy Longlegs move through the shadows, doing the small ancient work they have always done. They are not magic. They will not solve every problem in your yard. They will not protect every plant from every pest, but they help, and sometimes helping is enough. Because a garden does not need one perfect hero. It needs many small helpers. It needs balance. It needs patience. It needs the hidden life that most people destroy before they understand it. There is another reason people misunderstand Daddy Longlegs. They look delicate, but unsettling. Their legs are too long for their tiny bodies. Their movement seems uneven. Sometimes they gather in groups. Sometimes they stay so still you think they are dead. Then suddenly they move again, and the strange shape of them makes people step back. But in nature, strange shapes often have a purpose. Those long legs help them sense the world around them. They help them move over uneven ground, across leaf litter, around stones, and through the small forest that exists beneath your plants. And when danger comes, one of those legs can even become a distraction. If a predator grabs a leg, the leg may detach and keep moving for a short time while the animal escapes. To a person, that sounds disturbing. To a Daddy Longlegs, it may mean survival. Imagine being that small in a world full of beaks, claws, shoes, rain, wind, and hungry mouths. Imagine having no loud voice, no sharp teeth, no wings to fly away. All you have is a fragile body, long legs, and the old instincts written into you by nature. Suddenly, the creature in the corner does not look so frightening anymore. It looks vulnerable. It looks like something trying very hard not to disappear. Some harvestmen also have another quiet defense. When disturbed, they may release a strong, unpleasant smell. People often take this as one more reason to dislike them. But that smell is not meant to offend you. It is not an attack on your home. It is a warning to predators. It is a tiny kind of armor from an animal with almost no other way to fight back. Not every defense in nature is dramatic. Some defenses are small, some are silent, some smell bad, and some only make sense when you stop judging the creature for being different and start asking what it has survived. That is the heart of this story. Daddy Longlegs have survived not because they are powerful, but because they are patient. Not because they are beautiful, but because they are useful. Not because humans understand them, but because nature does. And nature has never required a creature to be pretty before giving it a purpose. So what should you do the next time you find one in your yard? The answer is simple. Do not panic. Do not crush it. Do not spray it. If it is outside, leave it outside. If it has wandered into your garage, porch, or mudroom and you do not want it there, use a piece of paper, a small cup, or a container and gently move it back to the garden. Place it near leaves, mulch, shrubs, or a quiet shaded corner. You do not need to touch it with your hands. You do not need to feed it. You do not need to keep it as a pet. You simply need to stop treating it like an enemy. And if you want your yard to welcome more small, natural helpers like Daddy Longlegs, you do not need to do anything complicated. Leave a little leaf litter beneath shrubs. Keep one corner of the garden less perfect than the rest. Let a few stones, old logs, or mulch beds provide shelter away from the house. Avoid spraying every insect you see. Let the garden have edges. Let it have shade. Let it have places where small life can hide. A yard that is too clean may look perfect from the sidewalk, but it can become strangely empty. It may have trimmed grass and neat flower beds, but nothing beneath the surface is working. No shelter, no moisture, no hidden workers, no small relationships. A living garden is not always spotless. Sometimes it has a pile of leaves in the right place. Sometimes it has a damp corner under a shrub. Sometimes it has tiny creatures moving after dark, doing work you never hired them to do. And maybe that is why daddy longlegs make people uncomfortable. They remind us that the garden is not fully under our control. It belongs to more than us. It belongs to the soil, the worms, the beetles, the birds, the fungi, the roots, and the strange long-legged animals we were taught to fear. We want the yard to be clean, simple, and predictable. But life is not always clean. Life is layered. Life is busy beneath the leaves. Life is full of creatures that look wrong to us, but make perfect sense to everything around them. The more you learn about daddy longlegs, the more the old fear begins to fade. That strange body is not a warning. It is a design. Those long legs are not there to frighten you. They are tools. That stillness is not a threat. It is caution. That slow movement across your porch is not an invasion. It is a small animal crossing a dangerous world, trying to make it safely to the next patch of shadow. And once you see it that way, it becomes harder to hate. It becomes harder to crush. It becomes harder to believe that every ugly thing must be removed from your yard. Because sometimes the ugly thing is helping. Sometimes the creepy thing is cleaning. Sometimes the creature that makes you uncomfortable is doing more for your garden than the pretty thing you stop to admire. This is the quiet lesson hidden in the legs of daddy longlegs. Not everything that looks strange is dangerous. Not everything that makes you uncomfortable is a threat. Not every visitor in your yard needs to be chased away. Some creatures are only frightening because we inherited fear before we inherited understanding. Someone told us a story, and we believed it. Someone screamed, and we learned to scream too. Someone said venom, and we stopped asking questions. But the garden does not run on rumors. It runs on truth. It runs on balance. It runs on small lives doing small work in places where human eyes rarely pause. The next time you see a daddy longlegs standing beneath a leaf or moving slowly across your porch in the evening, stop for a moment. Do not shout. Do not reach for a shoe. Do not grab the broom. Just watch. Look at those impossible legs. Look at that tiny body trying to cross a world full of danger. It is not there to hurt you. It is not there to haunt your home. It is not the monster that old stories made it out to be. It is a small survivor, a quiet cleaner, a hidden part of the garden you almost never notice. And while you sleep, it may be moving through the shadows, doing the simple ancient work it has always done. One tiny insect, one fallen leaf, one quiet night at a time. Maybe the real question was never whether daddy longlegs belonged in your yard. Maybe the real question is whether you have been paying enough attention to understand what your yard has been offering you all along. If you have ever found daddy longlegs in your yard, or if you used to be one of the people who killed them without thinking, tell me about it in the comments. Did you grow up believing they were dangerous? Did someone tell you they were venomous? Or have you always left them alone? I would love to hear your story. And if someone you know still reaches for a shoe every time they see one of these long-legged little animals, share this with them tonight. Because sometimes the creature we fear most in the corner of the garden is not a threat at all. Sometimes it is one of the quiet reasons the garden keeps breathing. And if you think the hidden world in your backyard is strange, wait until you discover what lives beneath a single garden stone. Because the tiny creatures working under that stone may be even more surprising than the long-legged animal we talked about today.